No introduction, just gonna cut to the chase. I'm Riley, welcome to Blam Wagon, and this is... So right off the bat, I lied. This isn't everything that I listened to in the month of January. Obviously, if I covered every single thing that I listened to in the month of January, this video would be like 4 hours long. You're not gonna watch that. I don't wanna edit that. I'm really just gonna go through any album that I have never listened to. That includes material that dropped in January as well as some old stuff too. I'm gonna give like a quick blurb on the project, tell you if I think it's worth your time or not, give you a rating, and that's kind of it. So let's get started. Started off the year strong with Room on Fire by The Strokes. It's good. You don't need me to tell you that it's good. It's so good. The Strokes are awesome. It's not as good as their debut, Is This It? Obviously, it wasn't ever going to be, but it's still fantastic. It's a really, really strong project. Reptilia is one of the greatest Strokes tracks of all time, probably. It starts really strong and it ends really strong. It kind of dips a little bit in quality throughout the middle. But with that being said, like, there are still some bangers on this project. It's definitely worth your time if you like alternative rock, if that's your scene. Yeah, it's getting an 8 out of 10 for sure. Next, I listened to CHVRCHES, The Bones of What You Believe. I love CHVRCHES. I feel like they kind of get a lot of hate, unwarrantedly so. They're really pioneers of synth pop revival, and their debut is pretty sick. It's pretty tight. Lauren Mayberry has a very distinct voice. It stands out amongst the killer production. It's incredibly catchy. They really nail the earworm choruses. Love Mother We Share, Love Recover. There are some great tracks on this thing. With most CHVRCHES projects that I've listened to, not every track lands. A lot of it kind of falls into the background for me. Like, there are some really, really catchy tracks on here, but unfortunately, like, not all of them live up to those highs. Still good though, still incredibly solid album. I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Okay, next I listened to the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack. That shit bangs, bro. Silent Hill 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. They nail atmosphere and the soundtrack is no different. It's an incredibly disorienting listen, and that's like not a knock against it at all. That's absolutely intended. It's hard to explain. It's like a threatening work of art. There's something so comforting yet so malicious about the tunes on this thing. It's so sick that they're able to blend kind of like this horrorcore aesthetic with some like really catchy trip hop. On paper, it's one of those things that like it shouldn't work, but it works so well. I think that playing the game and having experience with the game definitely elevates the listening experience of this OST, but like, I don't know, Akira Yamaoka nails it. They nail the tone of the game, and it's just a very solid listen. It's great. I would strongly recommend playing the game. If not, give the soundtrack a listen. It's so unique, and it's just kind of a feat in gaming soundtracks. Solid 9. Solid 9. Next, I listened to Chromatics, Kill for Love. Didn't love this one. It's way too long, man. It's way too long. I like the Chromatics. I like some of their stuff, but yeah, I don't know. I think there are other artists that are out there doing the same thing that they're trying to do, but like better. I don't know. Didn't rock with this project that much. I don't think it's terrible. Like, it's definitely passable, but yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5. Speaking of trip hop, I listened to Poison Girlfriend, Melting Moment. Really, really dug the first 2 tracks. The atmosphere that this project curates is very engaging. Unfortunately, it loses it immediately after those first 2 tracks. It's weird because the vocals work really well with those first 2 tracks, but I struggled to connect with it any further past that point. It's a cool project. I'm glad that I checked it out. It got recommended to me after I listened to the Silent Hill 2 soundtrack, I think. It's all right. I don't know if I'd return to it, but it's all right. I'm gonna give it a 6.5. Next, I listened to M83's Dead Cities, Red Seas, and Lost Ghosts. Hurry Up We're Dreaming is one of my favorite records of all time. It's one I grew up with, and so I have a soft spot for M83. This record's pretty great. This record is far louder than Hurry Up We're Dreaming. It really leans into the shoegaze kind of vibe. It works. I'd say like for the most part it works. I don't return to this project a whole lot, but when I did listen to it and when I've come back to some tracks every now and again, I do enjoy it. Yeah, I think if you're into like ambient, shoegazy electronica, like this one is up your alley. I'm gonna give it a solid 8. Solid 8. Next, I listened to Crumbling by Mid-Air Thief. This one was recommended to me. Glad I checked it out. Such a cool project, has such a unique sound. It manages to be so experimental and left field, but so catchy and familiar at the same time. It's poppy, it's folky, but it is also so weird, so strange. I loved it, I really loved it. I have a few standout tracks on here, those of which I cannot pronounce, and I'm not gonna try, but definitely check this thing out. It is a very unique listen, and it's pretty awesome. 8.5. Next, I listened to Carnavas by the Silversun Pickups. How do you pronounce that shit? Carnavas. That sounds wrong. That feels wrong. My dad actually recommended this record to me. Very cool, great shoegaze. The opening track is awesome, Melatonin. That is a banger. It has stayed in my rotation for quite some time now. Lazy Eye is also great, you've probably heard it. Yeah, I don't have much to say about this one. I thought it was really solid. I want to listen to it a few more times before I talk about it more. But yeah, it's super catchy, great atmosphere, solid 8.
It's 4 inches, I'm sitting on the blitz. Live on the toilet, I stay on my... You say we ops, but you stay on my...
Next, I listened to American Dream by 21 Savage. It's alright, I guess. The bars are incredibly whack, like they are very corny. It Smells Like Gas, I think somebody pooped, is for sure in the running to be one of the worst bars of the year. I mean, listen, it's 21 Savage. Like, I wasn't expecting much in terms of, I don't know, lyrical ability, but it's just, it's at a point where it's too distracting. It takes away from the record, for sure, unfortunately. The production is really solid. It saves the record. I mean, 21 Savage is a talented enough rapper, but yeah, those lyrics really hold this project back from being something that I would feel comfortable recommending to people. But like, at the end of the day, most of these tracks kind of just end up sounding the same. Features were okay. Could have been better. I don't know. This thing is pretty underwhelming, pretty forgettable. I feel like 21 Savage has so much potential, and I feel like he's just wasting it on, I don't know, mid projects. I'm gonna give it a 6. It's average, it's all right. Nothing like super offensive, except for that poop bar. That was god awful. Sky is blue, oh, finally been dreaming of this for a while. Next I listened to Kid Cudi, Insano. Pretty bad, dude. This one was pretty bad. I'm not the biggest Kid Cudi fan. I never really have been the biggest Kid Cudi fan. He's dropped some heat before, but like, I don't know. His solo material is just not it, in my opinion. There were like 1 or 2 tracks on here that I thought were okay, but oh my god, this thing is so bloated. I mean, yeah, it's sitting at 21 tracks, total length of like just over an hour, way too long. Yeah, not good. It gets a 4. Next, I listened to Kali Uchis Orquideas. I'm white. I don't speak Spanish, but it sounds great. It sounds so good. Kali Uchis just has such a fantastic voice, such a great ear for just catchy tracks. I really enjoyed this one. It's an incredibly solid pop album. Yeah, I would recommend it to pretty much anybody. I think that anybody could find some enjoyment in this thing. It's incredibly like classic, but it still feels contemporary and modernized. Yeah, this one's good. 7.5. Next, I listened to Glass Beach, Plastic Death. It's good. It's good. I think it's one of those albums that just doesn't click with me as much as it clicks with everyone else. This is my first exposure to Glass Beach's work, and I found the melodies to be complex and engaging, but not particularly catchy. It feels layered, but yeah, I don't know, sonically it's just not really my cup of tea. There are a few standouts on here. I really liked Rare Animal, The Killer, Comatose, but yeah, I don't know, a lot of this fell into the background for me. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Vaudeville villain. You don't give a flying fuck who ain't not filling them. Watch what you're dealing them. Ace King down.
Next, I listened to Viktor Vaughn's Vaudeville Villain. Dude, the production on this thing is so punchy, so catchy, so unique. The whole thing just sounds like a comic book. It is so sick. It should go without saying, but Doom was one of the most talented lyricists in the hip-hop game. I don't think I like it as much as Mad Villainy, obviously, but damn if it's not a solid rap album. I mean, it is so good, dude. Not all of the skits landed for me. I didn't love the open mic night interlude tracks. Thought the features were like a little bit weak. I mean, I come for Doom, I don't really come for the features. But yeah, Vaudeville Villain and Saliva are some of Doom's greatest tracks ever. So this project is great. Strong 9. Next, I listened to George Clanton's Slide. Super fun. This album is super fun. George Clanton has really nailed this like very niche sound that is undeniably him. It's good. It feels fresh. It's catchy. It's got like this weird like 80s revival kind of vibe going on. I don't think I loved it as much as Ooh I Rap Ya from last year, but it's good. It's really good. Gonna give that one a solid 8. All right, we are nearing the end. Next, I listened to The Smile, Wall of Eyes. I like Radiohead a lot. Tom York is incredibly talented, and The Smile is kind of just more of that. It doesn't hold a candle to some of Radiohead's best work. Like, obviously, it wasn't ever going to, and I didn't expect it to. But, like, it's better than a lot of the music that came out last year. It's interesting because, like, the whole record very much feels like an experimentation in different soundscapes and trying different stuff out as opposed to being, like, lyrically potent and trying to have, like, this deeper message. It's definitely no OK Computer, but, yeah, I don't know. It's got a really unique sound. Some of these tracks are just very, very different. Yeah, Read the Room and Bending Hectic are really good tracks. Like, they're stunning. Tom York's vocals are so haunting and unique, and no one's really doing it like him. And yeah, I don't know. Wall of Eyes was pretty sick. It's good, and I'm seeing a lot of flack online. Like, people are, I think, holding it to way high of an expectation. It's great. It sounds good. I like it. 8. Next, I listened to Future Islands, People Who Aren't There Anymore. I didn't love this one. It's got this synth pop backing and the instrumentals are good enough, but the vocalist just does not mesh with the instrumentation, in my opinion. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's just not my vibe, but the whole thing kind of just throws a wrench in it. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there are some highlights, but for the most part, every single song on this thing sounds the same. And I like synth pop. Like, generally, like I feel like I give a lot of synth pop slack where I shouldn't. But yeah, I don't know. The vocals just were not doing it for me. It kind of weighed the project down for me. I'm gonna give it a 6.
I'm the type to come in the game and just launch pain with a bronze frame and a tattoo of my mom's name.
Next, I listened to Lyrical Lemonade's All Is Yellow. This is such a weird project, dude. I don't know. It feels more like a compilation of just a bunch of random artists as opposed to a cohesive album. There are some huge standouts on this thing. Doomsday with Juice WRLD and Cordae is so good. That is a great hip hop track. But like, a lot of this just kind of is whatever. It's so whatever. The Eminem track is kind of lame. I don't know. A lot of this kind of feels like a swing and a miss. I respect what Cole Bennett is trying to do, but I just don't think it really lands. This thing is so inconsistent. The quality rises and dips from track to track. And it's weird because there's so much star power on this thing, and there are some artists on here that I really love. But yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling a 6. And last but certainly not least, I listened to Ratbag, Why Aren't You Laughing? Ratbag is an up-and-coming indie rock, indie pop artist that I found on Spotify. The production on this thing is so punchy, so catchy, and so weird. It's garage rock, like it feels very homemade, which I like a lot. It's an EP, it's only 4 tracks, so I can't rave about it too much. But this thing is full of potential. I'm really excited to see what Ratbag does next. This very much felt like a taste of what's to come. Yeah, I didn't really dislike any track on here. Rot in Love is fantastic. That thing is in rotation for sure. And yeah, I'm feeling a 7 on this one. And that's it. That's everything that I listened to in January. I don't know, hopefully you walked away with a recommendation, or maybe you just like to hear me talk. That's okay too. I don't know what this channel is going to become. I just kind of want to talk about music. I've just grown a passion for it over the past couple of years, and I felt like this would be a good place to dump content into. I'm not looking to grow a following with this channel. I'm not looking for views or anything like that. This is really just a place for me to talk about what I'm passionate about, and that's kind of it. I'm gonna try to do this every month, and I've got some cool music-related ideas that I can dump on here too. But yeah, I haven't talked in front of a camera in like a decade. I used to do this a lot as a kid, and it has been a minute, so this is very strange to me, so bear with me while I kind of find my footing again. But yeah, a lot of cool stuff came out this month. I'm very excited to see what the rest of the year brings. Should be a lot of cool stuff coming our way. So yeah, that's about it. If you like what you saw, give the video a like, subscribe, got more stuff coming. And yeah, that's pretty much it. See you guys.
Fuck.